I've admittedly, I have a lot of gripes. I hate revolving doors. There's just, the door is fine. A door is good enough. A revolving door is just trying to be fancy and complicating everything along the way. It doesn't even feel like the revolving door should have been invented. Revolving door feels like it actually came first. Like whoever invented the wheel was like, hold on. Wait, I think I'm cooking right now. And then someone came along and made a door, like a regular one, that just swings one way. And everybody was like, yeah, let's just do this. I live in New York, and there's a lot of revolving doors, and it can be very high stakes. It can. I don't know. Look, all of us have different abilities, and whenever people are a bit older or aren't as spry, a revolving door is basically double Dutch for them. I've seen it. I've been looking at people looking at the revolving door like, just worried. You can see it in their eyes. And then they let extra slides go because they're like, I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one. No, that one trying to ruin me. I'm gonna let that one go. Got the revolving door cut into these slices of pie. I went through a revolving door. I thought, hey, it's the way out. I have to leave. It's the way I came in. There's not another option somehow. And then I got in the revolving door, and as soon as I got in, I felt something. Almost immediately, I got in and I felt something. And it was slower to push. And so I didn't know what was going on. And then I turned around, and a man got in my slice with me. This grown man went ahead and was like, and now he in there with me. Oh, it was upsetting. I was over here because now I can't even move like I want to because my legs are bumping into his legs. This was some sort of assault because do you know what I mean? Like front thighs shouldn't be touching back thighs like that unless we know each other. This is crazy because I can't even move like I want to because then it's backing up against him. He rubbing up against me. This was very upsetting. And then we stopped. Then I can't even go any further. Like we fully stopped. And he's like, go. You're not gonna hop in my slice and rush me. I'm also trying to go. I wanna go. You have no idea how little I wanna be here right now. Ooh, I wanna go so bad. You're not supposed to be in here with me. You should be in, you had a whole 3 other slices to get in and you chose my slice. And so now we can't go at all, and I'm pushing. And then he over here tried to help me push. Don't reach over me, sir. And we're pushing, and we can't go, and then we hear, and it's because we enclosed somebody in the revolving door. Because someone else with no sense of timing or distance management tried to jump in the revolving door and got chopped in the middle. They standing right in the middle of the revolving door. Got them over here like this. And every time we were pushing, we were closing them in it again and again and again and again. And I don't know why they didn't scream. They just over here, go. That's the closest I've seen somebody act like a video game where I'm like, no, you have agency. You should be slipping one way or the other. Devastated. Then he over here turning around looking at that dude. Back up! Back up! I hate revolving doors so much. I hate revolving doors too, because sometimes I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. You get in, you push, right? We all know how they operate. Except for that one at the airport that they have started doing. This is a crime. Some airports in America, supposedly land of the free, have installed revolving doors that revolve when they want to revolve. You get in and you step in. No one has told us why they're doing this, by the way. It's one thing if you're going to be openly corrupt, but to install revolving doors that nobody can operate, if you push it, it'll stop. It'll get an attitude with you. If you get too close, it's like, well, I'm not going anywhere at all, and neither are you. How about that? Like, I hate this revolving door so much. When I want to go, I should go. It's a revolving, they're supposed to move. And over here, they'll have the instructions on the glass. Getting too close will cause the door to stop. You're not my daddy, all right? You're a door. You do what I say to do. And so then you get in one of these, and obviously nobody fully understands. They didn't make an announcement. I didn't see any local news. I was like, hey, the airport gonna have a new door. You kind of have to use it because the regular door is locked for some reason, and you can only... The only thing I can think of to use revolving door for is that it does help keep the weather out. Like if it is really cold, every time you open a regular door, draft comes in, everything. Revolving door keeps it cut off. So that, hey, fair enough. Fair enough. But it's May. You could argue the weather will not get better than this. And you got this thing, stop it. And so I'm used to it now. I fly enough that sometimes I get in there, I see it, I'm already upset. As soon as I see it, because it's not like a regular revolving door, 4 slices, it's only got 2 slices. This is the in slice and the out slice. And you walk up, and every time I enter one of these, I'm entering it with someone who has never come across it before. And so every time I walk into one of these revolving doors, I gotta warn the person that's about to walk past me that they are about to walk into the glass. And you're about to walk into the glass takes too long to say. So I usually go, and then they walk into the glass. And then the glass stops. And then we live here now. No, I can't stand a revolving door. Because then also, look, I am my size. This is it. I weigh what I weigh, and I'm the height that I am, and then, you know, the rest of my life is going to be accepting myself. But when I get in a revolving door and I push, because of how I'm pushing, I understand the pace that the door is going to go. It's responding to my push. Even when I push with other people, as long as they're around my size, that's fine. We're all pushing together, all right? We're like doing that thing that they used to do on the ships in the movies when everybody was turning something together. We're in a communal effort to get out. But every once in a while, someone much bigger, much stronger than all of us, just, you know, one of those people that walks around, oh, did I rip the telephone pole up? I have no idea. I'm just a giant. Every once in a while, I get into a revolving door with one of them, and they'll be in the one behind me. They'll be in the slice behind me, and then they push, and then I get pushed so fast, so hard, that I don't get to leave. I literally see the outside, and then I get whooshed past the outside because I didn't have time to get out, because they so strong that they basically turned this into a regular wheel, and so now it's spinning. You don't ever want to be pushing a revolving door and then have the other side of the revolving door hit your back, and now you're along for a ride. It's infuriating. It's stupid. I don't like it. This is a very confusing time too, because we don't know what's happening. Sometimes I'll get on the internet, the World Wide Web, and I'll try to express to people in other countries, we don't know. We don't know what's going on either. I know y'all confused. We confused too. You confused? How you think we feel? We live here. Oh, it's coming up. It's almost our 250th birthday. As a country, it's almost 250, and I don't know if you ever met a 250-year-old, but we seem kind of like that. I've met someone who was 100, and I was like, ooh, time beat you down. Do you know what I mean? Because at 100, you're sort of like, you're like not sure. Like at 100, you're like, am I ever gonna die? Like this is. At 100 years old, you feel like you're just not on the list or something. Like this is. Don't get me wrong, 100 is a blessing. It's a blessing to live so long and see the world change so much. If you are 100 years old, the world has been getting progressively better since you were a kid. When you talk to people who have relatives that are like even in their 90s, and then they ask them, what's the thing that changed their life the most? They have wild answers. They'll say stuff like running water. These people were alive for amendments changing, and they're like, yeah, but the water come right to you now. You meet someone who's 100, and they're like, look, everybody I know is gone. Everybody I loved died a long time ago. I don't know what I did. I almost feel cursed. I didn't know eating this many vegetables would do this to me. I had no idea. Listen to me. Everyone that I love is gone. And then you're like, well, I'm here. I barely know you. Which one are you? Because here's to be fair to them, once you get to great grandchildren, you can't be expected to remember those names. That is unfair to that person. That person has lived easily like 89 years. They're not going to remember every great grandchild, and there's no way that every great grandkid is gonna like spend enough time with them that they're able to tell them from like anybody. You know what I mean? So you're talking to them, you're great, maybe even great. I don't know how long it takes to get to 100. Maybe you got 3 G's on it. And they're telling you, listen, come closer. If I don't go soon, you do what needs to be done. You're like, great granddad, I can't. You can't ask me to do something like, of course I can ask you. I don't remember which one you are. can't ask me to do it. Of course I can ask you, just do it. How would I even do it? And then they over here, because they in one of those like beds, you know what I mean? Once you hit 3 digits, they put you in that bed and they're like, you really don't need to get out. Like, there's nothing for you to do. We'll go ahead and bring everything to you. Don't stop. You've been bending knees for a century. That would be unfair to ask you to get up and grab the remote. Go back, because I don't know if you've seen like 100-year-old person's bed, but it's state of the art. No, they look like Professor Xavier in there. They got a button for everything. How would I even do it? And then they over here like, what does that mean? What are you trying to tell me? Just flip the pillow. No, I can't do that. Of course you can. Look, I fought 2 world wars. I fought in both world wars, all right? I didn't kill people. I wasn't even sure if they were on the other side. I just did a lot of killing. Yeah. And if it's that bad for someone who's 100, imagine somebody that's 250. That's what we're like. 250 years. Wow. And we can't even agree on history. You know, depending on which state you go to school in, you get some very different history lessons. There's some that'll tell you like the whole history of the country, which is it's as checkered as any other country. We're just more sensitive about it. No matter where you go, if you actually learn the history of any country, there's been brutality of person to person from the beginning of time. We're not exactly special. We did do some things way longer and worse than other countries. But every country is going to have parts of their past that they're ashamed of, and then whether or not you cover that up will show your character as the people leaving a legacy behind for the people coming up behind you. But you know, you'll go to some places and they'll be able to tell you. These kids will be able to tell you, as long as ChatGPT didn't do their homework, they will be able to tell you the history of this country. And then you go some places and you're like, I don't even think what you're saying was written in a book. I think you just glomming on to certain parts based off of what little information they gave you. It's like, oh yeah, you know, the Mayflower got here, and then all the pilgrims were like, oh wow, no one's here. And then they built a bunch of log cabins, and then something Abraham Lincoln, and then out of nowhere, Abraham Lincoln, he liked to go to the movies too much. So he was at the theater, and then one of the actors was like, stop leaving bad reviews. And so they popped him real quick. And then, you know, he never yelped again. And then you fast forward a little bit, and then this really nice guy, Martin Luther King Jr., died for everybody's sins. And so now everything's fine. And you're like, which part of Florida are you from? This is very curious. I'm confused. I'm very confused. I'm sure some people don't even know to be confused. There's a very puzzling thing happening right now where there's a lot of events coming up. There's going to be a ton of celebrations, and nobody really knows how or why or which are going to be the ones they want to attend, because there's a thing called America 250. America 250 has been planned for like a decade now. It was put together by Congress, and it is a mix of private citizens and lawmakers coming together to have like a, completely nonpartisan celebration of the country. And it's 250th birthday, and there's like money that they've set aside, and there's all these things they plan to do. And then there's a thing called Freedom 250. And Freedom 250 is basically supposed to be all that stuff, but it is Trump doing it. And so then it's just funny because it's like we were already planning a birthday party. It's one of the Trumpiest things to do for Trump to be like, I'm planning a birthday party right next to your birthday party. I bet you everybody come to my birthday party. It's like, all right, you could have just supported this one. No, we got to do it my way. And true to like Trump branding and marketing, it is confusing. And then Freedom 250, they had a big bash plan, like a big old concert. They had plans. And when I tell you they were bringing the heat, these people, for Freedom 250, they weren't messing around. Freedom 250, they were like, we need the heavy hitters. Y'all aren't even ready for the names they booked. Y'all not ready. Freedom 250 lineup gets announced. And they have Milli Vanilli. Yeah, you heard me. Milli Vanilli. They booked Vanilla Ice. That Vanilla Ice. They booked Flo Rida. They even booked Young MC. White people, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be candid for a second, be vulnerable. I also didn't know who Young MC was. Like that one does get a pass. They announced this lineup and like, they even booked Bret Michaels. You know Bret Michaels from that one and only VH1 show where he was trying to find love. It was like The Bachelor, but sadder. They announced this lineup, and honestly, it was a moment of unity. It was a moment that brought people together across both sides of the aisle. I'm talking about Democrat, Republican, progressive, conservative, leftist, centrist. Everyone came together to say, what is this? What y'all booked Milli Vanilli. And sadly, one of them has passed, so I don't know. I don't know if that's Milli or if that's Vanilli. And then people start pulling out. People start pulling right out. They were like, oh, wait, we were misled. We didn't know. And look, admittedly, they didn't know the difference between America 250 and Freedom 250. They were like, we were told, when our agent sent us the email, we were told this would be like a state fair type of thing. We didn't know that it was going to be this thing that divides people and this like Trump-backed thing that, you know, to his credit, young MC was like, I can't be a part of this. Bret Michaels backed out. He was like, hey, yo, no. Flo Rida stayed. Vanilla Ice also. And Milli Vanilli. To be fair to Milli Vanilli, they don't have much going on right now, so they're kind of. But how fitting! How incredibly fitting for Trump to book Milli Vanilli. If you're not familiar with Milli Vanilli, they were like a pop duo. Huge. They had that one song. They had that one song, and look, they were two gorgeous men over here singing, we thought. They were over here singing, and look, I've seen the clip, but I admittedly don't know the song. I don't know if the song is actually called Girl, You Know It's True, or if that's just the part that skipped 85,000 times. Because they already had the dance number like fully choreographed and everything, and they're like, girl, you know it's 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 girl. And then everybody that was there was like, wait, what was that? Is that the remix? What? And then they were exposed for not being the ones actually singing. They had been lip syncing the whole time. And honestly, there was in entertainment, it feels like that moment was a little bit of like loss of innocence of the audience. Like up until then, maybe this was happening all the time. I'm sure it was, where like a singer would get sick and still need to perform, and so then they'd sing to a track, or they'd be having a backup track that was way louder than them. I'm sure that there are people who had Milli Vanilli-like careers and never even got caught, because maybe they didn't get popular enough, or maybe they just lucked out and they never had a track skip moment like that. But it's so fitting that someone like Trump would see Milli Vanilli and be like, yeah. It's like, it's irony on the level of a film. Because Trump has a very Milli Vanilli career himself. He's had plenty of Milli Vanilli moments. You know? Who would have ever thought that this huge global pop sensation actually wouldn't be singing their song? That actually sounds insane if you were to guess that before it was exposed. And likewise, Trump has had many Milli Vanilli moments. Who would have thought an American president would ever look right at the sun? I feel like right about then, even if you voted for Trump, you should have been like, uh-oh, that doesn't seem. Somebody had to yell, Mr. President, don't look at the sun. to a man that is grown and the president. They got Flo Rida. Flo Rida's like, Flo Rida's known for that, like apple bottom jeans. You know what I mean? Yeah, that one song. He's known for that one song. You know, some would call him like a one-hit wonder in a way. I haven't kept up with him enough to know if there are other hits that have happened since I was in high school. But maybe there have been. But you could even, to a degree, call Trump a one-hit wonder. There was that one time that everybody liked him when he was in Home Alone 2 for 3 seconds. Jabby, if that had been the end of his career, we'd be like, Trump pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, no, he is. He pointed right there. He pointed right there. And then Macaulay Culkin walked over there. He did just what he was supposed to do. Makes sense that Trump would book Vanilla Ice. You know? Every time I see Vanilla Ice, I have a similar reaction to when I see Trump. They're mysteries to me because when I see either one of them, at any point, I always ask myself, what is he doing? What is his plan? I look at Vanilla Ice rapping exactly like I look at Trump talking. I'm like, what is he saying? What is... And then people start pulling out. Trump was furious. He was like, I tricked these people fair and square. How dare they pull out like this? You fell for a ruse. I can't believe you wouldn't honor your word. And so then Trump said, hey, you know what? We don't need these third-rate artists. Which is such a funny insult when you booked, like you... The only thing I've seen that's exactly like that was one time. One time I was at the mall and this guy was trying to throw some game. He was shooting his shot at the cashier who was working at the Corn Dog 7. All right, and I think in his mind he was like, she already working at Corn Dog 7. I could show her a better life. And so, you know, he was throwing his game down hard. He was over here like, what you doing? What you doing? And she was like, working. Just for all of us as men, if you ever get a one-word answer, it's probably not going to happen. Don't put yourself through the struggle. Because you know what she knows what he's trying to do, he knows what he's trying to do, but also one word answer, it's not exactly conversation. It's like, so what you doing? Working? Okay, well you looking good. I mean you looking very good. Look at you. And she went, my uniform? He was like, yeah, but you know, I bet you look good in anything. Yeah, you know, I just noticed you over here, so I thought I'd come over and say hi, you know. See if I could brighten your day the way you brighten mine just by shining in my direction. Yeah. Trust me, I was watching, try to get his attention, like. You know what I mean? I hate to see a slow train wreck, you know? Like, a fast one's interesting. You're like, wow, that came out of nowhere. A slow one is just like, hit the brake, hit the brake, hit the brake, hit the brake. And then, and then she was like, so are you gonna order something? Or... Mind you, there's no line. It's like, so you gonna order something? It's like, yeah, you know. I was looking at all these numbers up here, and I was really just hoping I could get yours. Now at this point, I have left my seat. I'm now off of this peripheral, like. And then he was like, yeah, I was hoping I could get yours. And then she said, I don't have a phone. Which is a hard, that is, you know, people always tell you when they're trying to give you confidence, when you want to approach somebody and, you know, ask them out, that the worst thing they could say is no, but I don't have a phone. In a year that starts with 2000 is a little worse than no. And so then she's like, I have a phone. He's like, oh. I'm sorry. Wait. Don't make me laugh. Wait. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. I'm so serious. Okay, wait. It's like, I have a phone. And then this dude went, oh. Maybe I could write you. And I'm not, now at this point, I'm down on one knee, basically, bam, like, stop! And she like, oh, because to be fair to her, I'm sure she thought the I don't have a phone thing would stop 99.9% of humanity. So when he asked if he could write her, she was like, oh, I'm unhoused. I don't know what to tell you. And that was when he caught on. That was when you saw a switch where he was like, oh, she doesn't want, I'm being rejected. You see it, you know what I mean? I was close to him by now. I was in line now. I was in line looking over his shoulder, and you could see in his face that for the first time it like clicked. Oh, she doesn't like me, she's not interested. So you saw this dude just like sit with it for a second, nod his head. I think his lip quivered a little. And he was like, I'll love you, and then walked away. And that's the same energy Trump had when he was over here tweeting third-rate artists over the people he booked. That's insane. Third rate, you booked them. And so then he said, you know what? I don't even need these third-rate acts, all right? I mean, I know I can book somebody right now. You got bigger numbers than all of them. I can book somebody right now. Got more numbers than all of them put together. More numbers than Elvis. When he said more numbers than Elvis, I genuinely, for a quick second, because the movie is out and everything, I actually wondered if he genuinely thought Michael Jackson was still alive. Like. No, that would be the most Trump thing ever, to have like all these people pull out, Bret Michaels pull out, all these people pull out, and then turn to somebody and be like, "Get me Michael Jackson then. We're gonna show everybody." For a second, when I was reading his post, I was like, I think he thinks, because these are already a lot of artists from like a 90s, early 2000s type era. I'm like, I wonder who he's talking about. And then he was like, yeah, I get somebody got more numbers than Elvis, could pack a whole arena. Me. Because that's not the only thing happening. That Freedom 250 concert is not the only thing happening. There's also UFC Freedom 250, sorry. And this is a weird thing for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of conflict in me with the direction that UFC has gone. For me, as someone who watches like mixed martial arts and stuff like that, I watch boxing, I watch like MMA, Muay Thai, I watch like karate tournaments, wrestling tournaments. I just like combat sports, which always surprises people in a way that's offensive. I tell people that I watch MMA and they're like, you? As if there's some sort of barrier to entry to watch. It's just on. I'm just using my eyes. I didn't say I do it. I tell people I watch MMA and they're like, they look at me like I just did a somersault. They were like, oh, okay. Didn't know you had it in you. But I watch a lot of it because here's my thing. I think that you can become genuinely invested in a person and their story, not just their skills. At the end of the day, all of combat sports is testing yourself and your skills against someone else and their skills. So I'm not like bloodthirsty. I'm not looking to see people have like lifelong injuries or anything like that. I think that the contest is interesting. And I think that these people, when you get to know them, a lot of these fighters are so much like the people you have in your life, and most of them are genuinely fighting to give their family a better life. You see the stories, and obviously there are some fighters that get really famous and we get to know them really well and we get an understanding of who they are as people, and then there are other fighters that come and go and we never really get to know them like that. But you can get incredibly invested. I've been invested in MMA for a long time because I always have a deep respect for people that can do things that I cannot do. Like I look at when I was a kid and how I was bullied. And then you look at a fighter like George St. Pierre, who was also bullied when he was a kid. But he got into karate and mixed martial arts, and this dude became a world champion. He turned all that bullying, all that pain, I'm sure a lot of that fear about the next time he'd be confronted into something incredible, into something really inspiring. And then there's people that maybe they don't become world champions, but you just see them in one fight. You could see so much of yourself in them. Like there's a fighter, I might mispronounce her name, I'm not trying to, but her name's Shi Ming. And Shi Ming's this tiny woman. I don't even remember what weight class she was fighting in, but she had what I believe was her UFC debut. And she got in there, this tiny little woman, and she fought her heart out. She fought with so much precision. It was genuinely astounding. She won by KO through a head kick and knocked out her opponent. And then they come to her for the post-fight interview in the octagon. And she had one of the sweetest voices. They asked her how she felt about her fight, and she was like, And your heart just melts as soon as she starts talking. They're like, how do you feel about your fight? Congratulations on your win. And she's like, I think I showed too much mercy. Mind you, her opponent left the octagon on a stretcher. So I'm sure if I was her opponent and I was laid there, I'd be like, what else could you have done? But that wasn't even the most astounding thing about her. Not that she was small or that she could fight so well or she had such a cute voice. Because later on in the same interview, she was like, yeah, a lot of people worry about me because I have bad eyes and I'm tiny, but in here I'm the boss. Which is chilly. But that's a thing that you can really connect with. You can really see yourself in that thing, being underestimated. And then proving that your skill is not to be taken lightly. It's an amazing thing. And the most amazing thing about it, when you really get into the story of the person and not just a fighter, is that you see that KO wasn't even the most interesting thing about her. This woman was a doctor. Yeah, she's a young doctor, just became a doctor, and her parents had no idea she was fighting. They found out with us. Imagine watching your daughter go to medical school, become a doctor, you go to graduation, everybody happy. She does her residency and everything. Is your daughter MD on a diploma? And then one weekend you flipping channels. And you see somebody that look like your daughter being interviewed by like Michael Bisping and saying, I think I showed too much mercy. And then a woman in the background just laid out. I think you'd be like, did she go to medical school just to know where to hit people? Imagine now, you fighting this young lady. Maybe it's this other person's debut too. We only really talk about the winners. We only really focus on the winners. Maybe it's this person's debut too. And they lose. And they put just as much in. They put just as much heart. They have skill. They've worked on their technique, but then it happens. Sometimes you lose. And you get the brakes beat off you. And then it's to the point where you lose bad enough that everybody, including your coaches, like, don't move. And you're like, don't worry, I wasn't gonna move. And then they actually carry you out of the octagon in a stretcher and take you to the hospital. And when you open your eyes, you see the woman that knocked you out. Standing over you. Nah. Nah, if I woke up and the person that knocked me out was also my doctor, I'd be like, I think I'm good. There was even a time where I felt like all of my friends were rediscovering or discovering for the first time the UFC in the pandemic, because when the pandemic hit and all these sports were just closed, they were like, we'll figure out what we can do, but right now we can't. Because fighting is it's a team sport in theory. You have your people behind you. You've got your cut man, you got your trainer, you got your strength and conditioning coach. You have as many people to help you as you can afford or as are willing to help you. But at the end of the day, you got to be out there. And so what they did, UFC was, I believe, the first sport to come back. And what they did was they were able, through people's teams or just people being willing to be by themselves, made these bubbles. They made these like quarantine bubbles that people would stay in, and then they started to make fight cards. But because they could only have so many bubbles, and because it was hard to get travel, and it was even harder with travel just because of the pandemic, there were some people that got to fight like 4 times in a year, easy. They could turn right around in a fight that they hadn't been injured at all and fight again. This is something that's very difficult because normally when everybody's willing to fight, everybody's clamoring for a fight, it's hard to get booked again. But you saw people become real stars in the pandemic because they were able to fight 4 or 5 times in 1 year, which is crazy. The other thing that happened was that now, because there were no crowds, they were having these televised UFC events. But for the first time ever, you could hear through the camera that was shooting the show. Usually it's too loud. It's like an arena show. People are screaming, coaches are screaming. But for the first time ever, you could hear what the fighters were saying to each other the entire time. It was like a crazy, different experience. I don't know if we'll get something like that back fully, because it wasn't even something they planned for. They weren't like announcing it as some sort of feature. It just was what happened. And it was in that time, watching fights in the pandemic, where you could hear the fighters, that I realized how much like us, like me, they are, even when they're fighting. We imagine these people fight like out of a movie, where nothing hurts until they walk back to the locker room or something. But these people, there was one fight where it was a striker versus a wrestler, and the wrestler went in, took this dude down, and we all heard him go, "Oh, you strong." He was on the ground trying to get up, and the dude was trying to like climb him to get mount and everything, because then there's no getting up. And as he's fighting to not let this dude mount him, and as the dude's fighting to mount him, you just hear him go, "Oh, this sucks." I watched a heavyweight fight. I watched this heavyweight fight. That heavyweight fights are always tense because anything could happen. One shot, one punch could knock your opponent out. These are big guys. Even in their technique, like the people who are wrestlers, if they take their opponent down hard enough, they might knock them out just like that. And I saw this big old dude just go for it, because some of these guys, the way they're built, they don't always have the best balance. Sometimes you can see them throw a kick and they look worried. Like a heavyweight will throw a kick, and unless they are like one of the agile heavyweights, while they're throwing the kick, you can see in their face where they're like, "This is it. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna spin right around." But you saw this guy throw a kick to the body, and you even heard, because once again, you can hear everything better, so you even heard the pop of him connecting, kicked that dude in the side, pow. And then the fighter that he kicked went, oh. There was one fight Kevin Holland was in, who he has incredible striking. Kevin Holland's fights are always entertaining to watch. He's an incredible fighter. But there was one fight where he was getting wrestled hard, and he was having trouble getting up from round to round. And because you could hear everything, you heard him turn to Khabib Nurmagomedov in the middle of the fight. He's got a corner, but he still turned to Khabib and was like, "Do you have any advice?" "Do you have any, look, I'm about to go back in. Say something." And I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly what I would be doing. If I survived one round of an MMA match in the UFC, I would immediately turn to everybody. I'd be looking at the crowd like, "Do y'all have any ideas?" Y'all need to hurry. It's 12 seconds left. Say something quick. And now they're bringing a UFC event to the White House lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. They're gonna fight at the lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. No, I just want you to hear how it sounds to the rest of the world. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. First of all, I didn't know the White House had that much lawn. They're gonna fight on the lawn at the White House. Where's the president is? Gonna fight on the lawn. You know, it's like, and it's like they shouldn't just have a fight. It shouldn't just be a fight. There should also be like a Buick on blocks. No, they're gonna fight on the White House lawn. You know the White House. No, you know the place that he already tore up. They're gonna fight in front of a torn up White House. They are gonna make Washington, D.C. look as Oklahoma as possible. You got half the house demolished. You got to fight on the lawn. And look, I watch UFC from time to time. I love MMA. I watch a lot of MMA. But this is unnecessary. It's also a bad idea because it's an event outside, and there was just a shooting at the White House outside. This is why nobody believes these when they happen. No one has any like level of care or discernment or anything. That's why you look at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. There was a shooting, and then they continued the dinner. I've never had dinner good enough for a hot bullet. I've never been mid-meal and then had to leave for a shooting. You saw it was shooting at the White House, and it completely. No, we just don't mind anymore. That should be a big deal that there was a shooting at the White House. Hey, you saw every single one of those reporters had different reaction. There was one reporter, you heard the gunshot, and look, you're a journalist, and you cover the president, so you should know what a gunshot sounds like by now. And so everyone had a different reaction. There were lots of people reporting White House in the background, and you were hearing the pops. And it was like 30 pops. You can't slam a car door that many times. You saw one reporter was over here as soon as the pop started. To her credit, as soon as the pop started, she was like, I really don't care about this job like that. And she went ahead and got off camera, moved out the way. She was done. Like, you can go look at the footage. She was gone. She was like, nah, I'm good. I can do something else. I look good on camera. I can do plenty of other things. I talk well. And then there was a reporter. This man tried to keep reporting. You could see where he short-circuited a little bit, because he was gonna try to keep reporting, and then he heard like the 28th shot, and he was like, never mind. Like this man was up here like, today Democrats called out the pop Supreme Court for pop. You know what? And then he took the mic off. Why take the mic off? Just move. The mic is not weighing you down. shooting on the White House lawn, and then you had that one reporter, pop, 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 and then she was like, what is that? You know you've lived a good life when, as an American, you don't recognize gunfire. That's... What is that? What, do y'all hear that? What is... When she leaned her head out, I was so mad at her. I don't even know her personally, but I was like, no. We don't check for gunfire head first. Over here. What is that? And then someone said gunfire, and she was like, oh. Oh. We got this UFC event on the front lawn. Freedom 250 concert. Confusing everybody. It's so insane. This is so stupid. This is like remarkably stupid. This whole thing, it's like, I get it, it's 250. You gotta celebrate, but not like this. Not like this. Is like revolving door level stupid. This is the most infuriating. This is so dumb. I've been watching the Olympics, and I've been enjoying myself because it has exposed me to a bunch of sports I don't normally watch, right? Like, I watched a lot of women's rugby, right? I had never, it just came on while I was, while I was sitting there, and then I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot. Now I don't really know the rules to rugby, right? All I know is if you get tackled, you're supposed to throw the ball like back when you pass it, so then they can try to get further than you got and everything. And there was this one woman who was running with the ball, and a woman from another team went to tackle her, right? And rather than falling like gravity would dictate, she just picked up the woman tackling her and ran with her and the ball. And I was like, I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play. I don't know the rules, but is that legal? Can you do that? No. And then there was the guy. I didn't know shooting was part of the Olympics. But there was this dude that showed up that really looked like he wasn't in the sport, because everybody else had, like, I don't know if y'all read comic books, but everybody else had like dead shot gear on, like just they adjusted it and then lean in and then they lean back and stuff, and then they take the shot and stuff. And this dude was just walking up, no expression. Boom, boom, silver medal. Imagine how mad you would be if you went ahead and you got all the gear, you got all the glasses, the goggles that tilt and stuff, the little binocular thing with the red dot sight in it and everything, and then you still watching him over here just boom, boom, silver medal. That's a dangerous one to just be so good at off of talent, because then your competitors are like, we're gonna have to shoot him. We're gonna have to, one of us has to do it, right? One of us I'll bump into you while it's your turn. You just be like, oops. And then you had, you had Team USA in the men's basketball winning gold today. Just through and through. You had LeBron and Curry just serving up moments, right? Just little leans back, boom, draining it, everything, killing it like we're supposed to. Because basketball, that's our thing. We should be killing them. In basketball, I don't even want the games to be close. It's exciting when they're close because then you pull it out and then you're like, yeah, I was so annoying. I was a real, like, an American as a stereotype when Team USA men's basketball was playing. I was like, yeah, get up. Yeah, like I'm on the team. Like I'm one of the coaches. Just, get up. But because we did so well in the men's basketball, it makes it even more perplexing that we did so poorly in the men's 3-on-3 basketball. How did, there's so much talent. The literal NBA is here. I understand everybody can't be on Team USA, and I don't know if it's a pride thing, like maybe you just don't want to be on the 3-on-3 if you're not in like the proper Team USA, but that's a shorter, that's half court. You just run back and forth. That's an easier path to a gold medal, and they just didn't want it. There's not an NBA player on the team, to my knowledge. It's just 3 dudes that I think are my age. Like, just, that shouldn't even be allowed. That's very frustrating to watch us play and struggle at basketball. I don't care if it's 3-on-3. I don't care if it's 1-on-1. We should be dominating. Do you know what it's like to sit there as an American and watch the men's 3-on-3 basketball team struggle against Latvia? You couldn't have pulled 3 superstars or something. I gotta sit here, we getting dunked on. This is gonna be the most out of pocket that I speak the entire show, but I was watching it furious. I really was, because as an American, you sit there watching yourself get beat by a country whose GDP doesn't match Texas. And it make you, like, you sitting there watching us just slowly lose and stuff, and it make you want to go to war. You want to, a part of you's like, let's pay them a visit then, if they think they so cute. We've started wars for less. Come on. Don't worry, we didn't put it in the history book. Oh, no, I'm just saying. Like, this is my thing. Even when a game is over, whether you're watching an NBA game, an NCAA game, or just, you know, like some footage from a documentary where, you know, they're doing some exhibition game or something. When you go up to a professional basketball player, you go up to these professional athletes, and you see these sports journalists run up to them with the mic. How do you feel like the game went? And they put the mic in their face, and then they're standing there sweating because they just got done playing the game, but they're like, we did some passing, and we did a little bit of shooting. We should have done more shooting than passing, but we did as much. They always sound like they're failing a pop quiz about basketball when they get asked the questions about the game they just had. You were there. Why are you umming? And then we plan to do a little bit more dribbling next time, and then we're gonna dribble, and then we're gonna pass, and then we'll shoot, and we'll get more of those in next time, and then that will result in more points, and then we will have more points than the other team when we get done. So the result today won't be the result tomorrow, right? And that's all well and good because they're standing there, and even though they're pouring sweat and they're breathing hard, they're standing up straight, and they just got done playing at the highest level, okay? What I don't like is things like what, I might even be wrong. Maybe this isn't the interview I saw, but I could have sworn that after one of the members of the team on 3-on-3 was asked some questions after, and in my opinion, I know I'm not playing and he is, but he looked a little too tired for my liking, right? I'm not gonna let you be tired and lose, right? Like that's unacceptable. You know what I mean? Like he up there getting interviewed looking like me, like just like. Yeah, they were good. They were pretty good. No. If you're gonna represent me in the Olympics, right? I need you to play better than I can play. You know, if you're gonna represent me in the Olympics, I need you to be a LeBron, a Curry. Make me believe in myself, right? Don't just have me sitting there watching the TV like that's what I do. Like I could have. They had breakdancing for the first time ever. All right. Look. So they had breakdancing as an Olympic event for the first time. Which, here's the thing. We do need to take a step back for a second and go back to the invention of breakdancing. Breakdancing is something that comes truly from like nothing. Just kids and a piece of cardboard on the pavement and imagination, right? And it created an entire genre of dance that splintered off and made other genres of dance sense. So I think that it's an incredible thing that you have to take stock of, that something that just started with a few people has become this thing that's blown up around the world to the point where it makes it to the Olympics, to the world stage, right? But I was watching and I was like, maybe we need to keep some things a secret, right? Like maybe we don't have to tell everybody some of the stuff that we do, you know what I mean? Because I want to be clear here. There were plenty of very good breakdancers, all right? But a lot of them were overshadowed by people whose movement was questionable, all right? You know, because there were a couple people where you see them dancing and you're like, to call it a routine feels like you planned this, and I don't think you did. I think you're making it up as you go. I think that you woke up and you were like, oh, today? Like, I think that's the way you dancing right now. It's not the dance of someone who prepared. Like, there was an Australian dancer. Okay, look. She was dancing, and I'm not gonna act like I know how to break dance. I'm also not gonna act like I have great movement myself. Most of my stories are when I could have had better joints, all right? So I'm not trying to act like, oh, I knew it or whatever, but I will say, as soon as I saw her, and she was dressed like she was from Squid Game, that's when I was like, I don't know if you're taking this serious. I don't know what's about to happen right now. And okay, so she starts dancing. So she started dancing, and they had interviewed her before the Olympics, right? Before she ever went to Paris, and I think they interviewed her after her performance, and I think both times she said that all of her moves she invented, right? Which I believe. I do believe that. I think that that's true. That's just a fact. And she's dancing, and like, when you're watching it, okay, there are some traditional moves that you see in breakdancing. A lot of them are like moves that lead to spins, right? So someone will just have their hand on the ground, but then they'll be going up with their leg, and it's all to build the momentum to twist and then to spin on their head or to spin on their hands or something. And she kept almost doing it. Like she kept, there were plenty of times where she was like, I was like, she about to go, and then, do you know what I mean? Like she would stay on the ground in a way that wasn't satisfying, right? Because even in breakdancing, sometimes you just see straight up backflips, right? And there was a backflip she did, but she did stay on the ground the whole time. Like it was a backflip, but like she maintained contact with the ground at all points. And as I was watching it, I'm like, look, I'm also coming to this as someone who's watched a lot of breakdancing but doesn't know what the rules are for the Olympics. Maybe you're just supposed to hit poses and she's hitting the poses and she's racking up poses. I have no idea. So I'm watching, and I'm watching for the judges. I'm watching for the crowd, right? And there was one dude that I like really zeroed in on. It was a black dude with some dreads. And he was doing the thing that as black people we do. Right? When someone is doing their best, and when someone is like trying to participate, right? I don't care where you are. We give people a chance. We really do. Whether it's somebody who's trying to rap real quick, whether it's somebody beatboxing, somebody dancing. As black people, you can see it in videos around the world. We always give 2 free nods, right? We always give 2 free initial nods because you're getting into it. We don't know what you're about to do. You might surprise us, right? So there's 2 free nods that everybody gets, no matter who you are. And there was a guy in the background when she started, and she was really doing the, you know what I mean? Like she looked like she was about to get ready, right? And there was a black dude in the background that was like, you know, because that third nod, you gotta be careful. That third nod is a cosign, right? Like that third nod means I love what I'm seeing, right? And he pulled out just before. There are moves that are staples of breakdancing. Like one of them, I mean, I can't do it, but one of them is when a dancer puts their hand on the ground and then they put their full weight on their elbow and they either do a pose or they spin. You see that a lot. You see that on any breakdancing that you watch on Instagram, TikTok, any of that. It's like a real staple move. And at one point she went to do it, right? But as far as like being on the elbow, she was like, I got something different for y'all. I'm gonna switch it up real quick, right? And so instead of posting up on her elbow, she just kind of laid on it, right? And even when I saw her land, I was like, she getting ready to do something. She getting ready. Y'all give her space. She getting ready, right? And then she spun, but she did it on her own time. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like a fast spin or a flying spin. It was more like, we gonna get there, right? Like we gonna get there eventually, okay? I was truly taken aback. I was like, what is happening, you know? Because as a country, you have to pick a representative, right? You can't just be like, hey, as far as the I'll go. I'll take the flight. There was a competition, and you have to qualify to make it to the Olympics, which made me wonder, could she be to... You know what I mean? Like, everybody clowning her and everything, but she's the best. She's... Do you know what I mean? She getting a lot of extra undeserved hate because she won her place to get here, right? So then I want to know what happened at the competition to compete with the judges were like, we can't send you. It's all you. It's rough. That's rough stuff. Because this is, to be fair, she did get a lot of hate for this, and just in case anybody doesn't understand, to be fair, a lot of the spirit of breakdance is competition, right? It's usually one or two, people hopping in and out of the general circle where we're all watching. Sometimes it could be 3, 4, right? And one of the things that I watched happen in the men's, like it was, I think, the US versus Japan, right? Is that even though they were in competition, when the other person was in the circle, like doing moves, because Japan and the US were killing it, right? Like lots of spins, lots of like fun stuff, cool stuff I hadn't seen before. And anytime the other person was in, their opponent would still be like, oh, because it's a sport of energy, right? It's a sport of fun, right? And when she started, her opponent was kind of like, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, I get it. And after a while, her opponent just sort of started walking. And then when she wasn't, this was kind of wild. It is part of it, so like you can't hate on her for it because it's a thing that happens when people are breakdancing, compete against each other. But then her opponent was in there doing real moves. Because when I tell you she made up her own moves, she straight up like. I've never in my life she did the opposite of a Michael Jackson. She did. Oh man, Mike is moonwalking in his grave right now. But while her opponent was in there, doing the real moves, she was walking back and forth and was going. Oh God, okay, all right. And so she danced, and the judges awarded her 0 points, and I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know. I thought you got at least a point for limbs, like. Also, oof. France has had some ups and downs, right? That poor pole vaulter. If you didn't see it, okay, basically, pole vaulting is a sport where you run up with a stick and then you put it into, like, what I'm assuming is the vault, right? And you stick it in there, and then you keep going, even though it's stuck in there and it bends, and then you ride it up the top and it lifts you. It looks like it shouldn't work. Every time I've watched
pole vaulting. I'm like, how do they not snap off and fly off into another direction? Pole vaulting is physics, but it looks like it's against it, right? Like I think that's why it's a sport, because every time you watch it, you're just mystified. You're like, how did he plan it to go that? It could have gone anywhere. And so, you stick it in, and you bend and you fly up, and then there's a stick that you try to get over. And so you throw your body over the stick, and then you land and somehow live, right? Because that's the other thing about pole vaulting that I don't understand is how no one dies every time, right? And so anyway, there's a French pole vaulter that was running with the stick, stuck it in, just went backwards, and he's lifting up. And then when he gets about parallel with the bar, we notice on camera a different stick, right? Because there's always supposed to be two sticks. There's always the stick you gotta get over, and then you stick the use to get over. But there was a third stick at play that nobody could have foreseen, right? Because I don't know if this has ever happened in the history of people running up with a stick and sticking it in the thing and then going over. But he gets about level, and then, if you knock over the stick, you're disqualified from that heat, right? Not that you can't go again. I just mean like you didn't do it. If you knock over the pole you're supposed to get over. And he knocked it over. He knocked it over with his stick, his pole, his vault of sorts was what lifted that stick off. And then you see them, and they are connected. There were some people that were saying actually his knee is what knocked it over, and I'm like, maybe it goes to his knee, but I saw what I saw. And so, he didn't win a medal. But he won something else. Because we're all talking about it, and we're talking about it favorably. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even a knock on him as an athlete. I'm sure it's more impressive that he gets over sometimes with the stick he has to watch out for. He did his best, and he did not come up short, all right? No. And I know he wanted the medal, but he got something even greater. He got everybody knowing that he had a big penis without him saying it. You know what I mean? Like, when you're a man and you have a big penis, it's something you got to keep secret that you just want to tell everybody. You know what I mean? You just want to let the people know, right? I'm surprised more men don't just go, oops. I can't believe what just happened. Oh no, I knocked over a glass of water. How did I do it? There's a lot of times when you're reading the news, going through all these stories that are deeply depressing. Every once in a while you get something that's a little, I don't know, a little spark. Something that takes your mind off of all the bad stuff, even if it is one of the bad things, you know? Like, I don't know if y'all saw, but Diddy's lawyer trying to quit. Diddy
If you're not familiar, Diddy is gonna be buried under a prison, but in the Constitution, for as long as we have one, there are things. For as long as we have a Constitution, there are things laid out in it that state your rights as a citizen, you know, and your rights in court. You have the right to not incriminate yourself. You have the right to an attorney. You have the right to a speedy trial. You know, you have these rights because we've tried to set up to the best of our ability, and not a great ability, a justice system that kind of works. You know what I mean? I look at the American justice system the way I look at my uncle's car, right? It barely runs, but it does turn on and off. Like functionally, it is still a car, even if you do have to push it sometimes to really get it started, and you can't trust the brakes. Functionally, it fills the definition of a car. You know? And when I look at the justice system, I'm like, it's a system. But within that system, for as long as we've had it, we've had an individual, whether they did or did not do something, needs to be represented by someone up against the state or the party suing them, and the people that take on these criminal cases, maybe they take them on because they just know our system works best when there's at least someone, where it won't be popular, but there's someone to stand on the other side of the thing to make sure that the scales are balanced, that gives an honest effort, even if this person did what they're accused of doing, is a monster. None of that matters, because for the justice system to be a system, we at least have to walk in the door with the scales at balance, right? Innocent until proven guilty, and just something so that we don't all tear each other apart. And then there are people who really believe their clients. They really believe in the innocence of this person. They're like, I know this thing looks bad, and I know from every angle that everyone should just throw their hands up, but I believe this person when they told me that they didn't do it, and so they represent them, right? And neither of those seem to be the case for Diddy. Like that was all mostly theoretical. It's just his lawyer quitting. His lawyer's name, I might be mispronouncing it, but I'm pretty sure it's Anthony Rico, which is one of the most insane last names to have while not wanting to represent Diddy at all. That would be like your lawyer's name being Danny Murder, and he's like, I can't be next to you though. That's wild that I can't be over here. Because I didn't even know that lawyers, I didn't know that lawyers could quit. Everything I know about the law, I know from like movies and TV and stuff. And usually when you're watching a movie or TV show where someone is having, you know, a butting head scene with their lawyer, it's either the lawyer being like, well, look, if you're not going to be honest with me, you're not going to tell me everything, then you can just find somebody else. And you don't really know what that means, right? Or the person in jail be like, oh, you're not even doing your job. You don't even believe me. You know what? You're fired. And then I don't know what that means. You know? But in Diddy's case, this person, I didn't know that you couldn't just quit. I didn't know that you could quit, but I also, if you could quit, I didn't know you couldn't just quit. This is sounding dumber than I'm intending it to sound, but I'm telling you the way I found out. I didn't know that you could quit, and then when I found out you could quit, I didn't know that you couldn't just leave. You have to file a motion to quit. You have to like let the judge know I need to quit. You can't just quit the way you quit at Costco. You can't just walk out middle shift. Like, you know what, I'm gonna do something else in my life. You know? And so, you know, he filed a motion so that he could quit, and in the motion he says, under no circumstances can I continue. Woof. Under no circumstances can I continue. This man's paying you millions of dollars. Under no circumstances can I continue. And then they, you ask, hey, why can't you continue? And he said, hey, look, I'm not going to give you any reasons, okay? People are asking him, I'm not going to give you any reasons, okay? Because that would violate attorney-client privilege, which I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the law. I don't know many laws at all. But that sounds very guilty to me. That sounds wildly guilty. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the law. That sounds very guilty. It feels like he walked, like when you're saying, hey, why are you quitting? Because I have to. Why? I can't tell you it would violate attorney-client privilege. Just that sounds like he did it then. That sounds like he did everything then. And the thing that's special about this particular lawyer, Anthony Rico, saying under no circumstances can I continue, is that this guy was Osama bin Laden's lawyer. And it's like that. Sir, what did he do? What did he do to make you, who defended Osama bin Laden, who defended Osama bin Laden in 2001, peak Osama. If there was ever a time where the heat was on Osama bin Laden, it was 2001. And you were right there, like my client. But you were Diddy's lawyer, and you were like, you know what? Terrorism is one thing. This guy is nasty, okay? That is very nasty. I can't be a part of this. Tonight it doesn't sit well with my soul. Because I know if you're Diddy's lawyer, you got your work cut out for you. You got a whole lot of work cut out for you. You have to hope a new pandemic breaks out that only affects memory. That's the only way you have a chance, is if almost everybody forgets everything. Because look, once again, most of what I know about the law, most of what I know about the law comes from like Law and Order, which means I know nothing about the law. Because in Law and Order, they got to wrap it up pretty quick. They take you on a journey, but they got to wrap it up by the end of the episode. Everything can't be to be continued, and so they got to wrap it up. So if they choose to have any of the episode take place in court, a lot of times what will happen, especially if you get into those close minutes where you're like, ooh, it's almost top of the hour, how are we going to resolve this, right? They usually just have the prosecutor, like the DA or the ADA, really badger the defendant, right? Like, you did it, didn't you do it? You did it, and you do it again. You looking and doing it right now. You did it, and you did it, and you did it well, and then you did it, and then you got caught, and you wish you were doing it right now. Look at you, you're not even here. You're letting your eyes glaze over. You're in your mind doing it again. Look at him, he's doing it again right now. He's doing it in front of us, and doing it, and doing it, and doing it. Didn't you do it? Just say you did it, because you did it, and we all know that you did it. You'll never not have done it, because you did it, and you know you did it. You do it again if we let you out. You doing it right now in your mind. You did it, and then the other person finally goes, I did it. And usually they freak out and they're like, I can't handle having to say no more than 8 times. I did it. Oh no, the jury. Dick Wolf. And that's not how it actually works in the real world. Like, sure, there are people who testify and then don't help their case. They get up there and they say things that maybe make them look like they're not sorry or make them look more guilty than they're even presumed to be and everything. But you don't really have that with Diddy. Not just because the trial hasn't started, but with Diddy, he did record himself doing everything he's accused of doing, and the FBI has it. That is pretty bad. Only thing worse than doing something is doing it on camera. You know? Even if the entire jury could not see, they could hear. So it's rough. He also has not only the lawyer that Osama bin Laden had, Diddy's got like 3, 4, 5, 6 lawyers. Got a lot of lawyers. I didn't even know you could have that many lawyers. I guess you can have as many lawyers as you want, but like that already. I'm not a lawyer. Glad I'm not on the jury, but that looks very guilty to me. Everyone that I know who's ever gone to jail or been found innocent and didn't go to jail, they had one lawyer. They had one lawyer to be like, hey, it's just me and he didn't do it. That was the whole proceeding, right? They didn't have a soccer team. That's crazy. You got so many lawyers. I bet you that was one of the things that his lawyer said. He was like, look, you're gonna be good. You got 80 other lawyers. Okay, you don't need me. Let me go. Please, I know too much. No, because at a certain point, a certain amount of lawyers, I know that everyone has their specialties, but that looks bad to me, at least. It's like you need that many specialties at once. You accused of that many things that you go ahead and break up the work like a group project. And then to say you have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 92 lawyers, for any one of them to quit does make everything look worse. You know who didn't quit? OJ's lawyer. OJ's lawyer saw everything. He even saw him in the Bronco, and he was still like, I got you. We gonna be good. You know who else did quit? Jeffrey Dahmer's lawyer. He saw that to the end. Ted Bundy didn't even quit defending himself. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going. Let me see how this plays out. At any point, he could be like, you know what? I'm making me look extra guilty. Let me go ahead and get some help in here. No, it's mind-blowing. I don't get it. You represent Osama bin Laden. And he was number one in the world. You went for the criminal. You repped the criminal. And whatever we're finding out about Diddy behind closed doors, you were like, not this. Yuck. No. Because you see people in situations where they look incredibly guilty, or they do something very dumb that's almost indefensible, and they still have legal representation that sticks by them. There was a dude who, okay, I shouldn't laugh, but it's one of the dumbest crimes I've ever heard of. So basically, there was this dude who went to break into it was his house. He lived with his mom, right? But he was gonna go ahead and rob the house and try to sell a bunch of stuff off, right? So then he broke into the house and then got caught because I guess police were just happened to drive by, right? And then they see him breaking the window, going into the house, had a key, breaking the window, going into the house, and then coming out with the stuff. They arrest him, and he can't believe. He's like, you have no right to arrest me. And at first, because he's explaining everything, they thought they had no right to arrest him because it was his place where he lived with his mom, even though it was her house, right? And he said, no, you have no right to arrest me because it's daytime. He genuinely believes you could only get arrested for burglary at night. And his lawyer didn't quit. There was a dude who He tried to rob a bank. He ran up at the bank. This was years ago. This dude ran up at the bank and he had his gun out, and he was like, go ahead and empty everything right now. I'll kill everybody. I don't care if swinging the gun and everything. And then the tellers were like, do you want a bag? Because he just came in, just him and the gun, just waving, him and the gun. No bag, no nothing, not even a backpack, just here with the gun. The money now. And they were like, would you like something to hold it with or anything? And he was like, damn right, it's a real gun. And they were like, sir, we asked, would you like a bag? Would you like a bag with the money? We're getting the money right now, but would you like a bag? And he's like, you're right, I've had it. And then they turned to each other and they're like, I don't think he can hear us. And so then they hit the alarm. The alarm going off, this dude standing there, I'm waiting for my money. They're like, no, we're getting it. They get the money, they get the bag, and before he can even leave the bank, cops roll up. And basically, yeah, he was hearing impaired. And so then he sued them for taking advantage of his disability. And his lawyer stood by him. Do you see how this normally works? That's how it's supposed to go. Your lawyer is supposed to stand by you. They're supposed to be your ride or die. Diddy's lawyer said, no, I like to live and I will not be getting in the car. Oh, that's insanity. That many lawyers. You got 98,000 lawyers. I feel like Diddy just gonna keep hiring lawyers to make sure there's no one left to be on the jury. I don't even know what you would do. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at a situation like this where the whole world knows about Diddy and Diddy's case, right? It's global news, right? And everyone is expecting things to come out during his case, so there's more eyes on it than even when it started. It wasn't just a thing that popped up, oh, Diddy got arrested and then it's over. It's the fact that all of Hollywood could be implicated. That's the feeling that people have, right? So people are going to be watching the trial nonstop for every update possible, because maybe your favorite pop star, maybe your least favorite R&B artist, whoever, right, will be involved in this case somehow. And so the whole world will be watching, and the whole world already knows. So how could you not have, in a sense, at least if you're Diddy's defense, a tainted jury? Because how are you going to pull from people who can be impartial, who don't know who Diddy is, right? And then when you pull those people, a judge can say, and judges tell people all the time, look, I don't want you to engage with any media about the case. I don't want you reading any tabloids or social media or anything like that. And don't talk to anybody about the case. No podcasts, no whatever, right? No interviews, no nothing. And even if you do that, it's impossible, because the way that we live in the world and the way that we interact with social, to not be bombarded with things about whatever the biggest news topic is. So then how is it possible for Diddy to have a fair jury, right? And his lawyer could have made that case just now. And instead he said, no, I'm getting away from this dude. I cannot be near him at all. That's so bad that the only black lawyer he had was like, nah. You're not gonna get me caught up. Because I think he's just scared. I think he's scared that he's so close to it that he's literally just representation, but he might go to jail. That can happen. I didn't know that could happen, but that can happen. I had never seen it happen in my life until Michael Cohen Michael Cohen, in case you don't remember, was Trump's lawyer. And Trump got in some legal trouble. And somehow, Michael Cohen went to jail. That's a superpower. That's a superpower if I've ever seen one. I've never seen someone dodge charges so hard they hit their lawyer in the chest. That's crazy. That's the I'm rubber, you're glue of law. That's insane. Trump had all this legal trouble. He's like, take him, Michael. I'm sure Diddy's lawyer saw that and was like, that could happen to me. I refuse. My last name is already Rico. No, have to get away. Because who takes up for you is huge. Who takes up for you in a situation where you're in the public eye and you have a scandal or you've been found to have done something, right? Whoever takes up for you, they do shift the narrative around you, and they do shift public opinion, either for you or against you, right? Like, let's say in a scenario, right? Completely hypothetical scenario. Let's say I'm driving. I can't. I'm very bad at it. But let's say I'm driving. Once again, this would never happen, all right? I failed my driving test and I have not driven since, okay? I'm very bad. But let's say I'm driving behind the wheel of a car, which I should never be. It's a chair that could kill someone. It is insane that people just get in those and just go. Like, that blows my mind. I will take an Uber or the bus. I am fine without being behind the wheel of a death machine, because all it takes is your foot and you could just take anybody out. That's crazy. I don't like being in cars in the front driving. Every time I move, it moves. That's crazy. I don't like that at all. I'll sit in the back. But let's say I'm driving, okay? And I'm driving because maybe my friend is hurt. Maybe my friend's like, oh no, I'm bleeding. No, I've been shot, whatever it is. And then he's like, you have to drive me to the hospital. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll kill us both. And so then I get in the car, and then I'm hitting stuff. I'm just, because I don't know which one's the gas and which one's the brake, because honestly, they should be further apart. In my opinion, it should be like go-karts, like right foot gas, left foot brake. And then you can just drive like this. This feels more natural to me. I don't know what y'all are doing with this thing. This feels insane. To see people doing this all the time. Ooh, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna start, I'm gonna stop, whatever. I want to just do it like when you're in a go-kart. I drive so well in a go-kart, not just because I can't go fast enough to murder, but also because I know that left is stop, and that's fine. But sometimes you get the foot. Uh-oh, I've hit them both. What does that do? So then I'm in the car and I'm driving, right? And I'm doing it poorly because I do it poorly. Because as I've said before, on stage, to many people, I don't like lefts. So I take rights until I get there, okay? So I'm just gonna take a right and then take a right, take a right. My friend probably gonna bleed out, but I'm taking these rights because a left will kill everybody, right? Now I get to the hospital, let's say I've got to the hospital and I have run over at least 26 people, okay? So I'm being arrested, my friend is hopefully being treated, so I've saved his life, but I am in a lot of trouble. And let's say that Dolly Parton came to my defense, right? Because I'm not famous enough to get in trouble on the news, but there might be a couple of tweets where it's like, do you see that comedian just floored everybody? Just drove on the sidewalk for 6 blocks and took a right and drove on the sidewalk for 4 more blocks and took a right and drove on the sidewalk for 2 blocks and then took a right and then got to the hospital and hit somebody in front of the hospital. And I only hit them because I was trying to hit the brake, but it should be over here. But instead, it's in the middle. I guess. I don't know. I'm never in the car right there. I don't know what y'all do. Why isn't it just pep? Why isn't it just buttons? Let me hit a gas button. That would be nice. To just have the wheel and then a button. Right thumb is gas, left thumb is brake, and it's like a video game, but instead you're just over here. Crazy way to do it, but y'all do you, okay? Let's say though that Dolly Parton comes to my defense. probably never gonna happen. I don't know her, would love to, but let's say. She's like, I know Josh personally, okay? And I know he would never purposely run over 26 people. It must have been something that happened. And you say he was in a car. He said he would never do that. It must be an emergency. Oh, he was trying to help his friend. Y'all, please, if you can find it in your heart, to forgive Josh and his dumb feet. I'm just saying, if Dolly Parton came to my defense, I think that would shift a lot of people's opinion of me. Everyone loves Dolly Parton. Everybody knows Dolly Parton is a sweetheart. And so if she came to someone's defense, you would think, oh, if Dolly sees something in this person, then yeah, maybe they're a good person. Maybe she's right. Maybe he didn't mean to run over 26 people. No. I don't know what Diddy does from here, because the guy who represented Osama bin Laden dipped. I don't know who you get after that. That seemed like the bottom or the top, depending on what your definition of willing to represent evil is. I don't like if the dude who represented Osama is like, I'm a dip. I don't know who else would jump in. You know, Giuliani. Okay, well he lost his license. I'm positive he lost his license. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's the only one who can do it. I have no idea. Because someone did come to Diddy's defense in the wake of Diddy losing that representation, you know, in close proximity to Diddy's lawyer being like, I can't do this anymore. Someone did come to Diddy's defense publicly. Unfortunately, it was Kanye West. In a tweeting tirade, Kanye West went on an absolute rampage. He called himself a Nazi. He posted a bunch of like anti-Semitic stuff. He said all sorts of things. And then he said, by the way, free Puff. I think if you're Diddy in jail, you're like, this is worse. That is worse. I did not know it could get worse than the Osama bin Laden lawyer leaving me. But this is bad. This is very, very bad. That was me kind of like doing a little bit of rapping the way that Diddy does it because he's not good at it. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, this is bad. This is worse because he's calling himself a Nazi, and then he's like, also that guy. Think of that guy and me together right now. Think of when you think of me, I want you to think of him. All right. But who knows? Maybe when the lawyer who represented Osama bin Laden dips, maybe the only person left to represent you is Ye. I think that's. I could see that. I could see Ye showing up to court being like, Your Honor. I rest my case.